Modal pentatonics are a fantastic place to start exploring modes. You're probably already familiar with the major and minor pentatonic shapes. Modal pentatonics take these two existing scale patterns and alter one or two notes to make sure that the scales fit in specific harmonic contexts and over specific chords. Make sure you stick around for the Locrian pentatonic scale, it sounds surprisingly good. Let's start with the major pentatonic shape. You can use the major pentatonic shape in major contexts and also over the major chords. The scale spelling for the major pentatonic is root, major second, major third, perfect fifth, major sixth, back to the octave, and then into the second octave. The Ionian pentatonic is very similar to the major pentatonic shape. We're just going to swap out the major sixth interval for a major seventh interval to give it more of an Ionian sound. So we have root, major second, major third, perfect fifth, major seventh, back to the root, second, third, fifth, the major seventh, octave, second. So you might notice that the big stretch up here on the B string to get this G sharp note is quite tricky to achieve. You can actually play 3 notes on the high E string if you prefer, and the G sharp is there at the 4th fret. Then just play the 1 note on the B string, that E note there, the 5th. Personally, I prefer to keep the notes 2 to a string so that it mimics the pentatonic shapes a bit more closely, but you can of course alter it if you prefer. The Lydian pentatonic scale works well over major 7 raised 11 chords and also major 6 raised 11 chords. Because of this, it's possible to play this mode with 2 different scale spellings, one including a major 7th and one including a major 6th. I personally prefer the one including the major 6th because it's more similar to the standard major pentatonic shape. For the Lydian pentatonic we have root, second, major third, raised 4th, 6th, back to the octave, major second, major third, that raised 4th again, the 6th, back to the octave, and the second. The Mixolydian pentatonic scale works well over the dominant 7th chords, so we're going to need to include the major third and the flattened 7th intervals in this scale spelling. So for the Mixolydian scale spelling we have root, major second, major third, perfect fifth, that flattened 7th, back to the octave, 2, 3, 5, flat 7, second octave, 2. We're now going to look at the minor variations to start off with the standard minor pentatonic shape. We have root, minor third, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, minor 7th, and then back to the octave. This scale shape works well over minor chords and in minor keys. Now the full Aeolian mode works well over minor chords and in minor keys, but it includes a flattened 6th interval, so we're going to include that in our Aeolian pentatonic mode scale. So the Aeolian mode is slightly different to the other ones because we're going to play 3 notes on the A string instead of 2. This is because if we keep it to a 2 note pattern, it ends up looking like this. We have that awkward stretch on the D string, which is still possible to play. It's just a lot easier to play it like that. So we're going to swap this F note on the 3rd fret of the D and play it here on the 8th fret of the A string. So we end up with root, minor third, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, flattened 6th, then solely the root on the D string on the 7th fret there, minor third, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, flattened 6th interval, root, minor third. Dorian pentatonic mode also works over minor chords, but this time we're going to include a major 6th interval rather than that flattened 6th interval. For the Dorian pentatonic we have root, major second, flat third, perfect 5th, major 6th, root, second, flat third, 5th, major 6th, root, second. In a similar way to the Aeolian pentatonic, we can actually swap that note there on the 3rd fret of the A and play it there on the E string, the 8th fret if we prefer. So we have 5, 7, 8, then just the 7th note on the A string. The Phrygian pentatonic mode works well over sus flat 9 chords, so we're going to need to include the 4 and the flat 2 in the scale spelling. So here we have root, that flat 2, 4, 5, flat 7, root, flat 2, 4, 5, flat 7, root, flat 2. And of course, if you prefer, you can also swap that 3rd fret there on the B for the 8th fret there on the D string. And finally, the Locrian pentatonic mode. Now, unlike the actual Locrian mode, this pentatonic shape actually sounds pretty good. Locrian generally works well over diminished triads and minor 7 flat 5 chords, so we really want to highlight that flattened 3rd, the flattened 5th, and the flattened 7th intervals in this scale pattern. So we're going to have root, minor 3rd, perfect 4th, flattened 5th, minor 7th, back to the octave there, minor 3rd, 4th, flattened 5th there, flattened 7th, root, minor 3rd. You can grab a free PDF tab for all of these scale patterns from my website. The link is in the description. Good luck with this, happy practicing, and take care.